Thank you for browsing page 121. Today we're going to take a little trip back in time. This is just by way of me taking a look through some old Battletech cards. Battletech CCG was created in 1996, 30 years ago, by Richard Garfield. That's the gentleman who created Magic the Gathering. He was still working for WotC, and they were looking to capitalize on the popularity of Magic the Gathering, so we got the Battletech card game. This is a great little game. You have your various battle mechs. You've got a deck of 60 cards. You're drawing your mechs and other resources from the deck, while your opponent is actually trying to kill your deck. So your deck is actually your hit points, your life. And it's neat how you can take cards out and demolish your opponent and such. And it's a great game. Unfortunately, long out of print. I just thought I'd kind of show my binders just because I felt like it. I've been thumbing through them a little bit lately because of the 30th anniversary and trying to figure out how I would show them on the channel. So I thought, what the heck, I'll just go ahead and I'll flip through a little bit. I'm not going to show everything I have, but these are the cards that I do have, and I've got them separated by the speed of the mechs, clan, or inner sphere. And there are multiples in each one of these. There's 3 or 4 mechs in each one. And the idea was that I could go ahead and I could thumb through this and then make my decks that way. And in fact, I have made many, many decks over the years. But I've recently decided to make a couple of new decks. It's been at least a decade since I've made a deck for this game. So that's why the binders are out. And I thought, what the heck, people might want to see these cards. I don't know. I am going to do a couple of videos this year since, as I said, it is the 30th anniversary of the release of Battletech cards, late 1996. And I was huge into this. I was into Battletech about 6 years by this point. The TV show, I think, was already gone. It'd come and gone. But the Battletech toys, which I featured on my channel before, were around. And there were just computer games. There were a lot of ways to enjoy Battletech. Novels, the game itself, etc. In fact, we're going to be playing Battletech in the next day or two. Tabletop Battletech, because my players are indulging me and I get to actually play. Now, that being said, my players have indulged me on the Battletech card game a couple of times, and both my sons have played it against me. In fact, when they were younger, that was one of the main things they liked to do when they were 8, 9, 10 years old. We would sit down and we'd play Battletech cards, and that's another reason I love this game. But just thumbing through this is my clan deck. So these are clan binder, rather. These are all the various clan decks of different speed. And then we go here and we've got various clan command cards. If you don't play the game, this doesn't mean a ton. I have done a tutorial on the game. Maybe I'll put it in one of the links. And I actually did a live play where I played both sides and battled myself. But I just want to show some of the cards. So that's it for this one. Here's some of the characters that the game has, and a lot of fun. Pretty obscure these days, but still a lot of fun. There's still some good online support for it. This is my bigger binder. This guy is huge, and this guy has my inner sphere mechs. If you're familiar with Battletech, you have the clans, the inner sphere, although they've mixed by now because they've moved the story about 100 years further than when I was playing. But here you go. These are all the inner sphere mechs that I have. Those are the fast. These are mediums. And everything in this game is broken down in your mechs. Fast, medium, and slow. So I have the binders broken out this way. And I'm going to go ahead and stop any comments about, do I have the whole thing? I have no idea. I have never bothered comparing a full list of the cards released versus my collection. I guess I should, to see if I do have the whole thing. I know I'm pretty darn close if I don't have everything, because all the cards in here do not represent what I have in about 15 built decks also. But this is just a lot of fun. I enjoyed the heck out of this. I'm going to skip ahead here to some of the pilot that we have. See, there's a card missing there because I put it into a deck a million years ago. These are all the various command things that will enhance your mechs while they're on their missions. Various pilots or commanders that you can have. Just a lot of fun. This is just a really good game. I'm going to go back here now. Oh, there we go. A lot of the characters out of the Battletech universe. I've got them broken out by clan and inner sphere all over here. Just a lot of good cards, a lot of good fun with this. I really enjoyed playing Battletech cards. I used to play it at the old hobby store I used to hang out at back in the late 90s to very early 2000s. And just a lot of fun. I really, really like this game. I've been playing some solo games against, games against myself, me playing both sides to refresh myself a little bit. I may do another video where I play either one of my sons or I just do a game against myself. Let me know if you're interested in that. Just leave a comment below because I got pretty good reception on that. Now this is a dead game, unfortunately, except it's being kept alive by elements online. I'm not going to go into that now because I'm going to do a video on that in the future. But just showing some of the stuff I have. These are all the various pilots you can put in there. Lots and lots of fun. And then I'm going to show something that I consider to kind of be the crown jewel of my Battletech collection. And that is this binder. This binder is clearly labeled Battletech. That is not my handwriting. The old hobby store I used to hang out at, they had this binder behind the counter. We'd pull it out, we'd thumb through it. There you go. And inside were all these different mechs and price points. You find the price point, it's coming up. There you go. These were these are uncommons. These were $1. I believe those early ones were commons. They were 50 cents. So uncommons were $1. And we would, pull out the binder and say, hey, can I see the binder? And we'd go ahead and we'd go through all kinds of, we'd flip through and pick out what we wanted. And this would help you build out a deck and such. Well, I loved this binder. I really, really wanted it. Well, when the store started going out of business, I wanted the binder and they weren't selling it. It wasn't for sale. Well, on the last day I was in there, I asked one of the workers if that binder was still here and if it was for sale. And he said, yes, it was. And he said, I'll take $10 for it. And I said, done. And there is the $10 receipt. Now, I want to point out a little something too, and this usually isn't me, but this particular game store, by the time they went out, had engaged in a few shady practices that affected me directly, and because of that, I wasn't too happy with them. I had stopped using them about 1.5 years earlier, but when I heard they were going out of business, I went in to grab some stuff. And actually got some pushback on doing that from one of the owners. And so getting this particular binder for $10 for all of these cards was just a coup for me. And I was really happy to spend the $10. Obviously, I was happy about it. I kept the receipt. Here we go. Now we're going into the rares. Some very valuable cards if you play the game. Right here. And this is as it is. I don't think I've ever even taken a card out of this binder. I just wanted this binder. I've enjoyed it, and now that I'm flipping through it again, I'm kind of having fun remembering. So there you go. And then individually priced cards, that's how they were all priced right there. So I got a heck of a deal on this. Yenlo Lang of famous mech and Battletech. I got a heck of a deal on this, and I'm very happy to have gotten it. And as I said, it was kind of a little bit of a raspberry from a place that had unfortunately not treated its customers well in the last year or so of its existence. They did some shady practices that put more than one person off from using them as their game store. Like I say, I had stopped about 1.5 years before they closed. I stopped using them because of various problems that I had with the folks there. And it's a shame because it was a great store in its day. But that's all I've got to say today about Battletech cards. I hope you don't mind me indulging just a little look at my collection. It's just fun to take these guys out again. And like I say, I'm going to be making my first new deck in a decade. And it's fun to have these cards out again and just kind of relive the memories. Battletech's a very... it's a game I really like thinking about and playing because of when I was playing it in the 90s. That was when my oldest son was born and we were raising him, and then my second son came in at the late 90s, and I was still playing all these games and such. So a lot of good memories attached to these games, in particular Battletech cards. But that's all I've got to say today on page 121. I want to thank you for your time. Thanks for watching. Please leave any comments below. If you want to see more Battletech card stuff or Battletech in general, let me know. I'm not against doing a battle report for Battletech. I would just have to see that there's some interest in it. So let me know. I've got quite a bit of stuff. It's all older, but I have some of the newer stuff too, some of the newer mechs and some of the terrain and such. So let me know in the comments below. Also, please take a look at the Patreon, see if there's anything you can do to help me out there. But that's all I've got today on page 121. I want to thank you for your time. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.